A couple of different impacts. First of all, most of the time when a mortgage company is foreclosing on a house for non-payment of the mortgage payments, most of the time the people aren't paying the association either. Although that's not always true, because sometimes they'll want to be able to use the amenities and they don't want those to be suspended for non-payment of delinquencies, which is usually in the governing documents also contained in the statute that the associations have the right to cut those off. So that is, typically speaking, they're not paying either, even though sometimes they'll pay the association. If they're paying the association, not paying the mortgage, the association really doesn't care at that point because they're getting their money. So it says until something changes, it's not really their fight. However, if they're not getting paid too, then the association has to make a decision of whether or not they just go ahead and monitor that foreclosure and wait to see what happens, or if they want to kind of jump in and do their own foreclosure, knowing that there's a bank foreclosure going on. One of the reasons why an association would choose to do that is typically the banks take longer to foreclose than what an association would take. So if a bank takes 3 or 4 years to foreclose, which is not unheard of, an association may be able to get title in 6 months. They still have a lesser position than the bank, so when they take title, there's still a mortgage on the property. They don't have to pay it, but the property is still going to be foreclosed. But they could go ahead and they could rent the property for those 2.5 years and make rent before the bank actually takes the property back. There are other considerations called safe harbor, and I don't remember if that's on one of the questions for today. So I will kind of reserve that, and if it's not, then at the end I'll talk about the safe harbor provisions with the bank and how that affects trying to determine whether or not they should foreclose, they should wait, and what happens when a bank actually does the foreclosing.